Today we're in the Junction area of Toronto, the west part of it, along Dundas Street. I'm a little bit to the east of Runnymede, and it's an area in which I have a lot of history. Just behind me here across the street, it's Lynette's funeral home. Frankie Lynette was a friend of my dad's. Dad had a business up the street. We're going to see it. And my dad used to say that the local Junction guys would get together in the funeral home. They had a room where they stored the coffins, and they would play poker there. And you know, if you were tired or if you had a little bit too much, Canadian club, well, you could just pull up a coffin and have a little sleep. I thought that story was apocryphal, and I ran into a guy around here who knew my dad and was part of that poker game and confirmed that there was some truth to it. Maybe the details have changed along the way. We're coming up to Marsh's Stoves. When I was a kid, this was Marsh's Hardware. I knew Marsh, Paul Mateer was his name, and I knew his son Kenny, who used to own it. But Marsh's Hardware. Marsh had this unique skill when you were driving with him. If he was in the back seat, he could imitate the sound of one of your tires going flat, which is really quite a remarkable skill. I'm walking west on Dundas here. Across the street, in one of the little storefronts here, my grandparents had a business called the Queen City Leather Works. See, this is the Junction, and it was a junction of 4 rail lines, so it really was a rail town. It was formerly a separate city from Toronto, and it was eventually annexed into the city of Toronto on the condition that it remained dry. And so this part of Toronto, right up until Runnymede, was dry. In other words, you couldn't buy alcohol until the year 2000. I think so much looks different now, There's been some construction here, but I think that Grandpa's place was the place directly across the street. But it looks like it's been changed. It might have been, yeah, I think it's this one directly across the street, but it could be the one with the special offer sign. Geez, it's so long ago. I used to come into my dad's window shop. He made aluminum windows and doors, and we'd go across the street to the glove shop and visit Nanny, my grandma. And sometimes I'd be allowed to go upstairs and visit Grandpa Lou, who was always busy working on violin parts because he made and repaired violins. When I was a kid, this auto shop here wasn't here at all. This was an empty lot. And right next to it, there was a little store, and the old original little store is just completely gone now. It was a door, and it was like a long hallway, but nobody used it. My dad used to store metal there, and his little factory was in the back, and everybody used to approach it by going through the empty lot. And the empty lot had a great big puddle in it. When I was a kid, the window shop was heated by scraps of wood. My dad had an old pile of wood scraps, and I used to make little civilizations on the puddle in the empty lot. And then right here where the hair braiding place is, that was Claire Morgan's pianos. Oh, someone here remembers Claire Morgan.
No, I remember my father not mentioning that.
Oh, yeah. My dad had the window shop in the back many years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a long, long time ago. So much has changed. I've just come to see what's happened to my old neighborhood, And
the Junction itself, man, it changed.
Yeah, do you mind being on video? This is going on YouTube.
That's all right.
Right on.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Ah.
The Junction's the shit.
Well, it's I had a lot of history here. I don't know what happens here anymore.
It's a lot of young families now. Urban living,
Yeah. Yeah, I know. So a lot of hipsters up the street.
Oh,
Yeah.
But they're all like a lot of families now. A lot of the young families.
Oh, that's good.
But the place is clean. It's they cleaned up a lot. drugs and all that. You know?
Oh, that's good.
It used to be really bad, man. The whole always walking the dealers hiding between buildings.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, what do you need? Oh, fuck, man. I used to hate it, but now it's nice to walk. I got a kid, 9-year-old. You don't get bugged, you know.
Right on. Looks good, pretty good now. I was walking along here. I was remembering Jimmy the Tailor's was here, and the corner was a drugstore,
Oh, Jesus.
and my mom used to send me to buy her cigarettes at the drugstore, right? And then around the corner, before Jumbo Burger, was June and
Oh,
Bill's.
Jesus.
That's going way back, eh?
I remember Jumbo for long as I can remember.
Oh, yeah, Jumbo was there. So as soon as June and Bill's closed, I think Jumbo opened up, and
now they sold it. It's the next people holding.
oh, so it's
a kept the name.
Right on. Yeah. Those two, I think, were they two brothers? They owned it for the longest time, eh? Yeah, nice guys. And then across the street, there was a hardware store. I guess is that the dance company? That was Guffin's Hardware, and it used to say proprietor Sid Fink.
Yeah, it was right there. I remember Home Hardware or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Hey, my name's Eugene. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, brother.
All right, take care. So we got some dog room in here. I don't remember which shop was Jimmy the Tailor's, but it might be where the Bespoke Mortgage Group was. So much has changed here. It's hard to figure out what was what even. So like I was saying to that fellow, this was a drugstore down here at the corner. Now it's a restaurant. I'm going to show you something around the corner. Delicious fine Indian cuisine. Chef Sujoy Saha. Looks pretty interesting, huh? He's got himself a good review. Hope they do well. So I'm going to come around the corner. When I was real little, there was a little diner right here at 673. I think it was called the CPR Lunch. Don't remember much about it. And then it was June and Bill's over here where the Jumbo Burger is. A little diner, and then it became Jumbo Burger, and the same guys, they ran that. Good burgers, fries, that kind of stuff, steak on a bun. And there used to be, I can't even believe it's gone now, there used to be a fire escape on the back of the drugstore, and me and the local Junction kids, we would climb up that fire escape to the top, and it was way up there, and then we'd slide down the pole like Batman going to the Batcave. I was hoping I could show you the stairs, but even the stairs are gone now. So I'm going to take you down this lane. I used to play in this lane with the local kids. None of this graffiti was here back then. The stairs on the drugstore over here were much like the stairs on the back of this building, except there was a pole that we would slide down, and it was higher up. It was up by that window level, which I think at one time was a doorway. So much changes, so much changes. And this laneway, these are garages for Mariah Street. Some people call it Maria Street now, but we always called it Mariah Street. We used to, me and the local kids, we would gather up pieces of brick like that and stone, and then there was a sign shop, and they were always throwing out spray bombs, and we would put a spray can in the middle of the laneway, and then we would throw rocks at it, and the first kid to break it open and have it dance and paint up the laneway was the winner. We thought that was a pretty cool thing. So here's that auto shop. So this here is the back of what used to be my father's window shop. And at that time, you can see that piece of metal on the top. That was a sliding door that went across using that piece of metal. And to open up every day in the morning, my dad would open up those doors. And like I said, there was a vacant lot here in which he would park. I remember the nice family that rented to my dad. The Chevettis, I think, were their names. We played in this lane. We used to play hockey and soccer and everything, and just generally wander about being kids. I had a really good friend back then. I think his name was Barry, and he lived. I'm thinking it's up above this place here. Maybe it was next door. Hard to say. They moved away. I don't remember now where they moved to. We didn't keep track of each other. It was just one of those things. It's a lot of fun for me to walk back here because it brings back a flood of memories for me. All right, let's see if we can see what's going on up here on the roof. This is pretty interesting. Don't know, is this some kind of business? There's toys on the roof. Can't really see what's happening there. Maybe it's just the way they decorate. When I was a kid, this area was known to be a Maltese Canadian area. This is quite the wall of vines here. Wow. And here's the view all the way back to Runnymede. I'm going to take you out to the first street here, which is called Gilmore, and then we'll walk around back to where we parked on the way in. I've always found laneways to be really fascinating places. You know, the side of a building that faces the street is presented to the street in a particular way, but in the back, you often get a different view of how people are living or working. When I was a kid, one of the kids we used to hang out with, he was the kid that you knew was destined for the big house. Like he was just magnet to trouble. And he told us all he was going to let out all the cattle down at the stockyards, and we laughed. We didn't think he'd do it, but he did. And I have what might be a memory. I don't even know how much is influenced by stories that my parents have told and mixed in with my memory, or how clear my memory was, because I know that sometimes memory can be influenced in really strange ways. But what I remember, I think I remember, is pickup trucks driving around with men standing in the back of the pickup trucks with riatas, with lassos, lariats, and they were modern day vaqueros, buckaroos, and they were trying to rope the cattle that were wandering down the laneway here, down Mariah Street, all from the stockyards, which are up in this direction, straight where I'm pointing. This building's relatively new here. Don't know when it went up. Some kind of apartment. The Nissan place, it used to be a Datsun place. Well, I guess they were the same company. Many years ago. It's been here about as long as I can remember. If you like my videos, please subscribe. Get them all into your inbox, and it helps me out a little bit as I try to grow this channel. This barber shop, I think, was here a really, really long time. Maybe it had a different name. Maybe this is the original sign, Quality Cuts. I couldn't tell you at this stage of the game. It's just too far back, too far away. Man, brings back so many memories wandering around here. I could hardly stand it.